What's up, everybody? It is anime. It's your favorite boys with anime boys. It's Jake and Casey with the Christmas special.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to in the intro just put some bells that do not go with our intro music. Just have some Christmas bells to go to go along with it, just to make it even better.
Right. I love your Godzilla
Oh,
sweater.
thank you, man. I'm digging the old Pittsburgh Penguins Christmas sweater.
Yep. Yep.
See, we're taking time off from Christmas to be doing this for you guys. We're like, no, family. I'm driving to St. Louis to record this.
Yeah.
And
As you might notice, we're together,
yes,
which is special. So
it's the holidays. We're with our loved ones on the holidays, each other.
all right. So what are we watching today,
So
man?
for our special, I know it's not Inuyasha. I know you guys are like, what? It's supposed to be Inuyasha, but it's not yet. We decided to watch a Christmas movie, Tenchi the Movie 2, Daughter of Darkness. Now, Jake, you've never watched anything Tenchi before, so what'd you think?
So
Briefly, just be what was your when you heard we're gonna watch Tenchi? And then what do you remember? Do you remember seeing a commercial for Tenchi back in the day?
so Ryoko might look familiar, but the style is just so 90s anime that she could look like I could be confusing her with somebody else.
Yeah, there's about five different girls that had that haircut. Three of them were in this show.
Yeah. Yeah. Um what did my initial thoughts? Two words. It's horny.
Yeah.
It's very horny.
But I'm gonna say this because I've seen the show too, but with this and other stuff, it's horny in the sense that's oh yeah, I don't really know what girls look like naked, but let's see if this is close, because you don't see anything in this. It's just it's like teenage horny. We're don't really know what's going on, but boy, I like it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so it's Tenchi the Movie 2, Daughter of Darkness, known in Japan as Tenchi Muyo Midsummer's Eve. Uh, in Japan is the second of three films set in the Tenchi Muyo multiverse, directed by Tetsu Kimura and written by Naoko Hasegawa. The film was released in Japan on August 2nd, 1997, and as a double feature along with Slayer's Great. The film was later released in North America on the 31st of March, 1998. I don't really remember when we got this film, but I remember one year for Christmas, we got all the Tenchi films and then something else, because I don't think I got a Tenchi movie. I think Nick and Liz did. And then I got something else, probably something Godzilla related, if we're being honest. So yeah, I remember watching it, I remember liking it, because I like, we all like Tenchi, but at the same time, I'm my problems with this and with the movie itself and just Tenchi in general is continuity is a nightmare with this, and we will get into that when we get further into it. I'll let you take over for the cast of the dubbed, since we watched it dubbed.
Sure. So Tenchi was voiced by Matt Miller, Ryoku by Petria Burchard, Ayaka is Jennifer Darling, Sasami by Sherry Lynn, Mahoshi by Rebecca Forstadt, Kioni by Wenda Lee, Washu by Kate Vogt, and Mayuka by Julie Madalena, and then Yuzua by Barbara Goodson, who we found out was who, Casey?
Was Rita Repulsa.
Yep.
We were both this, I know it's not. We both kind of look I know it's not, but that sounds like Rita Repulsa. And then Jake's it is. But yeah, basically the plot with this is Tenchi's out walking. He finds out he's got a daughter. And then they're who could the daughter be? And Tenchi, Tenchi gives off big virgin energy. So he's not banging anybody, let alone a daughter that would be what, 3 years younger than him.
Yeah.
Because so they're it's got to be time. It's first off, they're oh, it can't be. Then Washu took some of her hair. Turns out she's a clone. She's got half his DNA, and which is I thought this is one part that I thought was funny. They're brushing the girl's hair. silver hair comes out. So they're like, oh, there's the one black hair, one silver hair. So one's the mom, one's the dad. It's like that's how hair works, apparently. I don't know if that's science, but that's what it was in this.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they find out, and it turns out, oh, it's this Rita Repulsa demon that wants to get revenge because she killed a bunch of kids and then fell in love with Tenchi's grandpa. Like that's basically, and then like these Jirai cops beat her up a little bit too much, but she did murder kids. Like that's what they show at first. It's like, well, she kind of was terrible.
Yeah, absolutely.
The grandpa didn't know though, so he's just like at first it's like, I can't believe you're doing this to my friend. Then like now, like when it gets him now, he's like, yeah, she's evil.
Yeah, so the first two things I put down was one, ew, meat TV. Because that TV, I guess it was more like a tree. But it like, I don't know what I'm looking for. It's like out of the trunk, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I thought it was like this weird meat. And then the other thing was sick rat tail that Tenchi's sporting.
Oh yeah. Tenchi's kind of got the Obi-Wan little braided thing going on.
Yep. It's not great.
But at the same time, like I don't know about you, but I actually did have one of those when I was a kid. But the clip-on one.
Oh no, I had a real one.
See, I couldn't, my hair doesn't, but like I wanted to be Obi-Wan, so I got the clip-on little braid that you could buy. It was the officially licensed clip-on hair.
God, I wish you'd have worn that in high school.
Oh, that would have been great. I mean, it wouldn't have really helped or hurt too much.
So, like Mayuka, she calls Tenchi daddy throughout the whole film. It's daddy, daddy. I gotta show daddy I love my daddy.
And like in 2023, especially a show like Tenchi, having a girl call you daddy the whole time, you're like, what type of daddy is this?
Yeah, and sometimes you don't even know in this show because of what's happening in the scene. So that honestly made this movie like twice as funny for me.
It's funny, and then like we talked about how horny this is, and this is one of the things that we talked about while we're watching. It's like how much of this show is like when Chris Claremont would write comics, or like a lot of comic book writers will write comics where they'll put in their fetishes. How much of that is this movie? Because like, boy, there's a lot of that in this, like a lot of incest fetish stuff going on.
Yeah, the writer should be on a watch list, if I'm being honest. Also, I had, since we're going through what happened in the movie, you talked about what's her name getting hair for the research. My note was kind of fucked up, and it is.
I mean, she just plucked. It's not that big of a deal.
Like, hey, I'm a stranger. Oh, there's your hair. I'm gonna go do an experiment on it. Like, if that happened to you, you'd be like, get me the fuck out of here.
Well, in all fairness, though, also if I'm like coming into someone's life and be like, you're my father. It's like I'm 2 years younger than you. You're my daddy. Like, and then like, I mean, yeah, you gotta have some tests ran.
Yeah, fair enough. Also, Kione.
Yeah, that's your girl.
That's my gal. That's my gal.
Yeah, that's one of the downsides with this movie, and like the shows in general. Really, it's like Ryoko and Ayaka, they get a lot of screen time, and it's Asami a little bit, and then it's like Mihoshi, Kione. They're there, like their first episodes in the show. Like that's when they get the most time to shine, and then it's just kind of like they're in the background. And then
they're cops.
Yeah,
it's like, no, you put them in because you drew them like this.
Yeah. So that's one of the knocks on this. But yeah, I mean, they what else was going on in this movie?
So there's a part where Mayuka goes missing.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Really, that was just Ryoku being.
Well, in all fairness, because Mayuka started macking on Tenchi, which is like, that's not father-daughter activities, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so then she got.
Preface that with she was under control of the Fox girl.
But Ryoko didn't know that.
Mm-hmm.
And so she just sees this lady that's been going around saying, my daddy. And then like, then just tongue punching his tonsils. So she flew off with her, and then, you know, made you think she dropped her, or she did drop her, but so yeah, like that happened, and then
But the funniest part of that I wrote a note for was that they are all searching for Mayuka except for Kinchi and Kinchi's dad.
Yes.
They're just sitting around
praying.
they're like, hey, have you found her yet? Oh, well, shall we have some food?
Yeah, like they're sitting praying. They are the epitome of thoughts and prayers.
Mhm.
Like, this'll help.
Yep.
But then the grandpa ends up finding her at the top of a tree. Also, that's one part that was really funny. Tenchi goes to take a bath, and this was one of the lines I wrote down as a quote, but then I went with something different. Tenchi goes to take a bath, and then the daughter shows up, gets naked, and hops on him. And the Ayaka and Ryoko get mad, and they grab her and stuff. And then the grandpa's like, "Hey, you could take a bath with grandpa next time." And she's like, "Who are you? Are you Tenchi's dad?" It's like something like that.
Yeah, very fucking weird. I also had down, and this we were laughing out loud at this, but the dinner that they make is a vegetarian meal, and Casey said that Tenchi is is vegetarian. Also, it's around that time that that Tenchi gives Ryuko the old 1-2 Chris Brown
Yeah.
combo,
Yeah, because
which is important for the plot.
yeah, it is. He open hand slaps her, and then, like, the thing about, if you don't know about this show, is Ryoko is a space pirate demon queen, pretty much. Very powerful. Open hand slap. It's more of just like open hand slap. It hurts my feelings more than anything else. It's not gonna actually hurt her, but so she got all upset and flew off.
Yeah. Also, we get more flashbacks to the invasion that we see at the beginning, and like you just see these two kids like exchanging a present and like, oh, we're gonna be friends, let's go back to my place and play with this gift. And then these soldiers show up and just start beating the shit out of these
So
kids.
you missed a part, because it started off with 3 kids. They're like, we're waiting on so and so, and then this other one comes up and turns them all into these like little
Yes.
things, and then she eats all of them. Then the other kid comes, "Hey, where's my friends at?" And he's like,
Right.
"I don't know."
Right. No, I know that. But I'm saying at this point where we're talking about in the movie, it just shows flashbacks too.
That was at the very beginning with that part.
Yeah.
And then later on we see the second part where she eats those kids.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So it's just a couple times they just show you the part where grandpa shows up and it's like, well, he didn't do it, but
Yeah,
all
but
of
like
his
all the
soldiers are like,
dry soldiers
you
are
know.
just beating her
Yeah.
big time.
I also have, so there's a part where they finally figure out what's going on and they go to Yuzuha's like tree world or whatever, and there's a bunch of talking toys that might just be children.
Yeah, don't know.
Um,
I did that completely wrong.
yes, you did. But anyway, they're like, come play with us. Let's get ready for the Christmas party. And then they just sprout a bunch of knives and start firing knives at Tenchi. And I just put that they were a terrible shot.
Yeah, do you think they were actually aiming for him though, or do you think it was just kind of like,
they couldn't have been?
Yeah, because they kind of went all the way around them.
Yeah.
But that, I won't mention my favorite line, but that's where my favorite line comes from. But yeah, then there's the big fight between Ryoko and Mayuka, and that was
Christmas bondage is the note that I wrote right there.
Yeah, 'cause she's in this like sexy Santa Claus outfit, and then Ryoko blasts her and all of her clothes come off. Because of course they do.
The funny thing about this movie is that all this bonkers ass shit is happening, and then they'll be like, Christmas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh yeah, I forgot this is kind of like a Christmas movie.
Yeah, it's a Christmas movie.
But anyway, that was funny. I also put during this fight Palpatine Yuzuha, because she's just like zapping the shit out of Mayuka. It was funny.
And then Yuzuha, like they do the big, like she transforms, she gets super powerful, all that stuff. And then they're like, hey, this is how we gotta beat her because we get the tree of light. Here you go.
Yeah, they take a branch and then spear it through Tenchi, who I put, by the way, has a tennis ball noggin. It's just perfectly round.
Yeah.
But anyway, then he gets his what is Silverhawk sword or something like that?
Oh,
Light Hawk.
Light Hawk.
Yeah.
And he's able to use that and just one shots her. Like that's what's crazy. Is like if this was an anime now, you know what would have happened? She would have like since they did that little bit of backstory, it would have been like he would have like beat her and then like I'll play with you, and then she would have been like his friend now because like she wasn't like overly. I mean, she did kill those kids, but like that's able to be looked past in anime, in anime terms.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
like, but in this, they're just like, no, she's dead.
Yeah, and then right after that, I put, despite that terrible tragedy of her dying, the power of family prevails because it's, gonna have that Christmas
Yeah.
miracle.
And then at the end, Washu's like, hey, I can bring this kid back if you guys all want her back. And they all look at Ryoko, and Ryoko's like, yeah, I'll make her extra strong.
I'll be your personal
Yeah.
trainer.
Like she just imagines like her dropping her, and then she's like, yeah, let's bring her back so I can do that again.
Yeah. It's still like we're making fun of it, but it's still a good time.
Yeah, the animation, like, we'll get to this too if it, aged well or not, but the animation, I really like it a lot. I think it's really, really good. It's funny. Like it's very Tenchi Muyo-y. I'll say this though, you haven't seen the first movie. Doesn't really matter for the plot, but yeah, the first movie's better, just story wise.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, you want to get into the awards?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so what would be the memorable animation for you? Because you can see
We,
mine.
Yeah, we have the same one actually.
Okay.
It's the big fight with Yuzuha at the end.
Yeah.
They really just bring their A game with that.
It looks super cool. She turns into this big old thing, and yeah, it's just awesome. What's your memorable line?
So I'm glad that you changed yours because mine is what you had it before.
Oh,
where he was like, next time you can take a bath with grandpa because it's just insane.
Yeah. So mine is when they're fighting the stuffed animals. This bear goes up to Tenchi, and it's like, "Did we scare you? Did we hurt you? I'm so sorry." So funny.
Yeah.
Who we shipping?
For me, it's
Grandpa and the granddaughter.
it's Kione and myself actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
No,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, Tenchi, you could be like, Tenchi ends up with any of these girls, and I'd be like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Actually, I had Tenchi and his daughter as a joke answer.
It's a
but
funny joke.
I'm gonna go with Washu and Grandpa. They had some chemistry going on.
They did. They did. He was bringing her food.
Yeah.
It was very sweet.
Yeah, he's probably banging that old bag of bones. Would you say it aged well?
I mean, no, but yes. Like we watched it and it's perfectly fine to watch and it's funny now, but I don't know that it's necessarily funny in the way that they mean for it to be funny.
I think parts of it are, but I think other parts of it probably not. And I think it did age well animation wise, but certain aspects of the story, it's like, you probably couldn't get away with that now because people are a little bit more sensitive about stuff like that. You know.
Also, I don't ever want to become desensitized to incest.
But with this show, you do because Ayaka wants to bang him, and that's like his great aunt.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, and then best character.
Mine was Grandpa. He was awesome.
Grandpa. I think
Kione, you get it, Jake. You're horny for her.
Like at first, I was kind of annoyed, but probably Ryoku. I don't know. We just kind of see her go through all the motions, and even though she gets the shit slapped out of her, I mean, really deep down, you can tell that she gives a shit about Tenchi.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, have you guys seen the old Tenchi Muyo movie or any of the Tenchi Muyo at all? Let us know. Tell us know what you think about it, and say like, nah, it wasn't horny enough if you ask me.
Trust me, they could make it more horny.
Yeah, they could. Well, make it almost as horny as me and Jake are right now. I mean, in the same room together. But Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Next time we promise it's actually in Yasha.
Yeah.
So,
with a special guest.
yes.
Okay.
We will have a special guest as long
That's
as they don't back out before then.
Okay.
So, all right, guys. Merry Christmas, and we'll see you on the next one.
Bye.
Bye.